Sonic here again from Medellin, Colombia with a new buddy of mine, Manish Sethi. And Manish is a really fascinating guy who's got a great website called hackthesystem.com. Tell us about it.
Hack the System is a site about basically how to achieve unconventional goals by approaching them in a ridiculous or radical way. So it's about how to get free plane tickets, travel anywhere in the world without paying, how to get free office space in every city, how to lose 25 pounds in 28 days, stuff like that.
And I'm really interested because you've spent the last few years traveling around the world and documenting your travels on your website. A lot of my readers in my book, Insider Journalism Secrets, want to be travel journalists. What would you suggest to them to get started?
So I started off as a freelance writer, which is like basically I would write for websites and I would get paid and I could do it from anywhere. I started off writing for Lending Club where I wrote like personal finance articles, and I've written for a bunch of sites. And the main thing is to be able to connect with some bloggers who want your stuff. So the first thing is to not be a bad writer. So you got to be a good writer. So if you can learn how to write by, having written a lot of essays or whatever in the past, there's a lot of good books that'll teach you how to write. Matador Network is a big travel journal, and they sell a product about how to become a good travel writer. So those are good ways to learn and practice. But the biggest thing is networking. So it's how do you get the actual gig? Because you can go work on Elance or something and you'll get $5 an article. Yeah. It kind of sucks. But if you want to get started, it's a good way to get your name out there. The biggest advice I can give a budding travel journalist is to have their own personal blog. Once you have your own personal blog, and you'll be able to connect with other bloggers very quickly. And once you can connect with other bloggers, they will be the ones who can introduce you or will be willing to hire you for other articles. So for example, I used to connect with this one blog called Envato Network, which is like Freelance Switch. I used to connect with them, and then I used to talk to them, and I knew the owner because we just chatted. I did a Skype interview for them. Then they hired me to write an ebook for them. And then they hired me to be a freelance recording writer. So in that way, the number one thing I can say is get your own blog, practice your writing, and then begin networking.
Sure, so get on the road, get your plane ticket, throw in your backpack, get out of the 9 to 5, go and start doing it, and then document your travels on a website. And then I would also suggest send that website to magazines and newspapers and all those kind of places, because they're always looking for travel pieces. And even if you're going to write it on your blog, they'll pay you to put that into their magazine or in their newspaper.
So one specific website I really recommend is jobs.freelanceswitch.com, which is a job board where people will list all the writing gigs that they want written. So it might be copy for a website, it might be travel writing. I mean, when you're a travel writer, you cannot, your goal is to pay your way to travel, it's not to write about travel. So you might have to write about other stuff. You might be writing copy like we've been talking about, Joseph Sugarman style. So if you go to jobs.freelanceswitch, you're going to see a lot of different requests for writing gigs. And if you have a blog you can present to them, you're likely to get a job.
Okay, give us the craziest travel adventure that you've ever been in, like the craziest place you've been or seen or been involved in.
Okay, the craziest story I got, this is a good one. I used to live in a city called Udaipur, India, which is a village in Rajasthan. And there's a bunch of temple elephants that roll down the city. Now the city is called the Lake City because it's full of lakes everywhere. And so one day I was with a friend and she really wanted to ride the elephant, which was coming down from the temple. It's illegal to give tourist rides in the old city. So I hollered at the guy came down and he paid me a few dollars, and she took a ride on the elephant, got off, and I got on the elephant and we started rolling down the city. And suddenly we passed a police officer. This police officer starts running after us with a whistle. And the driver looks at me and he says, "You have to jump off the elephant, sir." And I'm like, I gotta jump off of an elephant? And he's like, "Yes, sir, you must get off." So he pulls me up next to a wall. He makes me jump off of a moving elephant onto the wall. From the wall, I jump into the lake. I swim away to the bridge to get away, and I realize that never once in my life have I been in an elephant police chase. I gotta run over a cop on an elephant. That's my good story.
I think we should make a Hollywood movie out of that, right? Elephant police chase. But listen, you guys have got to get into travel writing, and you too can get into an elephant police chase like Manish here.
It'll happen sometimes.
But thank you so much for your time.
No problem, man.
With hackthesystem.com, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks a lot, guys.